Hey everyone, welcome back to Talk Lily. I'm Lily, and I'm so happy you're here with us today, whether you're on the bus, doing dishes, or just chilling with some coffee.
And I'm Leo. Honestly, it means so much that you spend part of your day listening to us. We got a comment recently from someone who said listening to us feels like sitting in a cafe with two close friends, and that just made our whole week.
That is honestly the sweetest thing ever, and it's exactly what we are going for. So don't stress about catching every single word, just relax, stay with us, and let the English flow into you naturally.
Okay, but Lily, you walked into the studio today looking like you hadn't slept in 3 days. What happened to you?
Leo, don't even bring it up. I had a big work meeting yesterday and it went so badly that I honestly wanted to disappear into the floor.
Wait, you. A disaster in a meeting? You love talking. What on earth went wrong?
Okay, so my manager looked right at me and asked for my thoughts, and my brain just completely shut down. I started rambling on, using 50 words when 5 would have been enough, and I could literally see my colleagues zoning out on the Zoom call.
Of no, the verbal loop, that painful moment where you lose your point somewhere in the middle of your own sentence and just keep talking, hoping it magically fixes itself.
Exactly that, and it's even harder when you're doing it in English, because you're already thinking about your grammar and your accent on top of everything else, so the pressure is just enormous.
But here's the thing, a meeting isn't supposed to be a performance where you stand up and deliver a perfect speech. It's actually just a group of people trying to solve a puzzle together, and you are just offering your piece of it.
Oh, I really love thinking about it that way, because if I'm just offering one piece of the puzzle, it doesn't have to be perfect, my teammates can help me shape it and fit it in.
Exactly, and the key to doing that well is learning how to articulate your ideas, which just means expressing what's in your head clearly enough that people actually understand you.
Right? And it's not about using big fancy words at all. It's just about making sure what comes out of your mouth actually matches what you meant in your head.
And ironically, the biggest enemy of clear communication is trying to say too much at once, because the more you pile on, the more you bury your actual point under a mountain of extra words.
Okay, that was poetic, Leo, but also a little bit of a personal attack since I literally just told you I did that yesterday.
I would never. But honestly, here's a simple trick I use before speaking in any meeting. Pause for 2 seconds, find the one sentence you most want people to remember, say that first like a news headline. Add one or two details, and then just stop talking.
So instead of saying something like, well, I was looking at some data and maybe if we have time we could possibly think about changing the layout because a few users mentioned it felt a bit confusing. I should just say, our layout is confusing users. So I'm proposing we update it next month, and here's why.
Yes, that's clean, confident, and it gets your point across immediately, and that phrase, get your point across, just means the other person actually understood your core message. Like a package that arrived safely at the door.
And if the package gets lost in transit, which, let's be honest, mine definitely did yesterday, someone messaged me afterward asking what I actually wanted the team to do. Which was honestly so humbling.
Don't be too hard on yourself, because when you respond to that kind of message calmly and re-explain your idea clearly, that is actually professional communication working exactly as it should.
Don't be too hard on yourself, because when you respond to that kind of message calmly and re-explain your idea clearly, that is actually professional communication working exactly as it should.
See, that's a win. And what you did there was essentially repitch your idea. Because in the workplace, a pitch isn't just something salespeople do on TV. Anytime you put an idea forward and ask people to agree with it, that's a pitch.
Right, but a good pitch isn't an aggressive sales commercial either, because like you said, the whole point is collaboration, working together so everyone's piece of the puzzle actually fits.
And the most articulate people in any office are usually the ones who speak the least, but when they do speak, they hit the nail on the head every single time because they've been genuinely listening to everyone else first.
So the secret is listening more, connecting your pitch to what your colleagues actually need, and shifting the whole vibe from, look how smart I am, to, how do we move this forward together?
Beautifully put. And once everyone has shared their ideas and the collaboration is flowing, someone needs to wrap up, tie the neat little bow on the meeting so everyone knows what was decided and what happens next.
Okay, let's do a quick deep dive into all 5 words we've been using today so our listeners can really feel how they work in real life, starting with articulate.
So articulate just means expressing your thoughts clearly in words. And being articulate has nothing to do with sounding like a textbook. It actually means being simple and direct enough that the other person never has to guess your meaning.
Exactly. And you can use it as a verb like, he struggled to articulate his vision, or as an adjective like, she is such an articulate speaker. And honestly, if a manager ever told me I articulated something, well, I would be floating for the rest of the week.
Next up is get your point across, which is all about the result of your communication. Did the message actually land? Did they get it? Because perfect grammar means nothing if the other person walks away confused.
Then we have pitch, which sounds scary because of shows like Shark Tank. But in everyday office life, it just means presenting any idea or proposal and hoping people agree, like, I'm going to pitch a new schedule to my boss today.
Fourth is collaboration, which is just working together to create or achieve something, and it matters so much because if you can't articulate your ideas or get your point across, the whole collaboration breaks down like a gear getting stuck in a machine.
And finally, wrap up, which means to finish or conclude something neatly, like putting wrapping paper on a gift and tying a little bow. So when a manager says, let's wrap things up, everyone knows it's time to stop talking and start doing.
And when you put all 5 together, articulate, get your point across, pitch, collaboration, wrap up, they form the complete cycle of how a great meeting actually flows from start to finish.
You know what? Talking this through today made me realize that so much of my meeting anxiety comes from trying to sound perfect, when really communication is about connection, not perfection.
That right there needs to go on a t-shirt, because it's so true. Your colleagues don't care if you use the wrong preposition. They just want to understand your idea well enough to move forward together.
And one tiny thing that helps me so much is just jotting down 3 bullet points before the meeting starts, not a full script, just a few keywords so that if my brain freezes, I can look down and find my way back.
It anchors you, gives your eyes somewhere safe to look, and keeps you from drifting out to sea in your own thoughts when everyone is staring at you from around the conference table.
Okay, but Leo, what about when you disagree with someone's idea during a collaboration? Because that's honestly one of the most awkward situations to handle politely, especially in English.
The golden rule is to validate their thought before you offer your alternative, so instead of leading with but or no, you start with something like, I really like where you are going with that. But what if we looked at it from this angle?
That's so smart because it doesn't feel like a rejection at all. It feels like you're building on top of their idea rather than knocking it down, which keeps the whole collaboration feeling safe and positive.
And when someone pitches something that's just completely over budget, instead of saying that won't work because it's too expensive, you say, that's a really creative idea. My only concern is whether the budget can actually support it right now.
My only concern is, I am writing that phrase down immediately because it sounds so calm and diplomatic and it shifts the focus to a logical constraint instead of making it feel like a personal attack on their idea.
Exactly, and in international work settings especially, softening language like I was wondering if or correct me if I'm wrong. But isn't being weak, it shows you respect the other person and want to keep the relationship strong.
And when you're the one being questioned or asked for clarification, the best thing you can do is take a breath and remind yourself that if they didn't understand, it's your job to explain it better, not their job to guess harder.
Every single time you speak up in a meeting, even when it goes badly, you are practicing, and every time you practice, something small gets a little bit easier, a little bit more natural, and a little bit more like you.
So don't let one rough meeting or one moment of brain freeze stop you, because the fact that you're here, listening and learning and trying, already puts you so far ahead, and we are honestly so proud of you for that.
Thank you so much for spending your time with us today, and we would love to hear from you in the comments. What's your biggest challenge when it comes to speaking up in meetings? We read every single one.
Take care of your English, take care of your confidence, and we'll see you in the very next episode. Bye everyone.
Bye.